All right, so we have another release of comic sales with some interesting things in here to talk about. Some surprises and some nothing that's going to shock anybody anyway, like the sales of Border Town, for example. So let's take a look at these October 2018 sales. So I like to look at the top 10. Of course, no surprises here. Batman is always at the top consistently, which leads me to believe like the quality of this book, right, has been kind of up and down, or maybe generally just people are really digging Tom King's run. But I would suspect that a lot of this has to do with the same thing that affects Spider-Man, is that I think a lot of people just pull it because they want to have Batman in their collections and they want to have all of them. But it's up there every month consistently. Then we have Walking Dead. This doesn't surprise anybody. This book is always selling good. Spider-Geddon, number 1. This is way behind because we're already on issue 4. Batman's second issue, because it is bi-monthly, at $4 a piece. It's a lot. And then here's the big surprise. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, number 1. Now, this is misleading. This is not a new launch for the character. This is a reboot when it was just Spider-Gwen, but they changed her name. They gave her an actual name now. It's Ghost Spider. So I'm not sure what's the deal with that. But this does lead to the theory, why do all these people order tons of number 1s? Almost 90,000 for that book. So when you go to the comic store, do me a favor, take a look, and see if there are a ton of copies of this book sitting around. I'll never get this model, this book's probably not going to sell very well, so why are you ordering a crap ton of it? I think you could look at the sales for Spider-Gwen and see where you're at on this book. And for now, remember, they're not very good, so I just don't get this game, man. It hides and masks where the comic industry really is, especially with Marvel, because they'll do a run for a while. Once sales kind of sputter out, they relaunch with a new number 1. Instantly, shops continue to open up and buy a ton of them every time there's a number 1. And we continue the cycle. It's hurting everybody in the long term. And then we got Heroes in Crisis. I guess this is good. I'm not interested in this series at all. It has these weird, whatever that stuff is, in The Office when they're doing those camera testimonials. And I saw one that had Batman crying and stuff. I don't think Batman's going to take his mask off and cry in front of a camera. That's just not normal, Tom King. Then we got Venom number 7. I like that this book is holding strong at number 7. Look at these sales for this book. At number 7, we are at 87,000. That's really good for a Venom book. Now, before Donny Cates had took this book over, the sales were not this high for Venom. So this tells me that people that are reading this book are digging it and they're sticking with it. And I think that that's awesome. I think that book is really good with him. And I hope that it keeps going good. The cool thing about the Venom book is if you went and watched the movie and generally wanted to get in on Venom, you're going to go pick that book up and you're going to get a solid product. And I think that that's good. You can't say that for a lot of the Marvel movies right now, but you can for Venom. Justice League at number 8, no surprise. The 2 Spider-Man books holding strong at issue 8 still up there in 82,000. That tells me that people are digging it and they're sticking with it. Return of Wolverine took a little bit of a jump down at number 2, even with all the variants. Still high up there, though, at 80. I think that that's a good run. And then we got the Venom Annual. Didn't sell as good as Venom number 8. I didn't think that the Annual was that good anyway. Now, here's some of the surprises. Superman and Action Comics are holding around the 60,000s. However, when you consider that both of those books were bi-monthly and selling 30,000 each issue, you're not getting that much of a a win here by bringing Brian Michael Bendis in. They expected these two runs to do like Tom King numbers. You know how I showed you Batman was up there at the top? That's what they expected with this, and they're not getting it. So it'll be interesting to see if these numbers hold. I haven't cared for Superman at all. I think that series has been a mess. Action Comics a little bit better. I'm generally someone kind of want to know where he goes with the Action Comics storyline. Superman is a mess. It reflects nothing that's in the regular continuity right now. It's just weird what it's doing. So I'm going to be watching these numbers like a hawk. I really want to see if the 60,000 number for both of these issues hold in time. Now, we go down, we see Spider-Gwen saw a huge decrease. Now look at that number 1 effect. We go up here and we see Spider-Gwen number 2 is at 104, or Spider-Gwen number 1 is at 104,000. We come down here just to issue 2 alone, and we see a huge drop to 53,000. That's that effect from the number 1s, which is just mind-blowing to me that people order so many extra number 1s. You know, like, did it really sell that well? So that's interesting stuff. And we're not going to see, I don't think we'll see Spider-Gwen number 3 in here, but we're going to go down and we're going to look at the funny stuff. So we see here, Life of Captain Marvel. This is like the umpteenth reboot for that brand, down to 27,000. It just shows you no matter what Marvel does, they cannot get this character to sell. And it's bad, right? They have to have a Captain Marvel title out because of the movie that's coming out. And they're just going to relaunch it. They're definitely going to relaunch it because remember, this is a mini-series. And they've already announced the regular series that's coming. So we're going to get yet again another Captain Marvel number 1. And that'll be a really funny effect because they're going to say, look at this, Captain Marvel number 1 sold 100,000 issues. And then you're going to see number 2, it's going to drop by half. And then by issue 4, we're going to be right back here at 27,000 again. And then they'll reboot it again. Because you know what? I guarantee you that the new reboot will end up at like 12,000 issues shipped. Nightwing is also kind of a surprise, 29,000, even with that big event that just happened. So we're going to drop down to some more stuff here that I picked up. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers kind of dipping down a little bit since they've gotten away from the original team. I expect these numbers to continue to fall. Don't underestimate the power of that OG team, people. We come down here, and here's where the fun starts. Miss Marvel, 13,000. Iceman, 12,000. So look at that drop for these books. Now, Miss Marvel consistently holds around 13,000. I'm kind of with Zach on this, that I don't think that they have expectations for that book. I think they're just going to let it roll out forever. Even though, theoretically, at 13,000 issues shipped, no one is reading it. This could be 13,000 issues just chilling in comic shops, unsold. And the same goes with Iceman. How about that demand for Iceman's return, huh? Look at that drop. Already from the first issue, which they overshipped, by the way. And you could tell that by the dollars and the actual ranking that they overshipped it. And we all saw the pictures and stuff and the interviews from comics people at their shops that they did that. So this is no surprise to anybody. And then we keep on going down. And that big, well-reviewed hit, Border Town, drops to 8,000 units shipped. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, no surprise, 8,000. Losing momentum. And then we come down. Man-Eaters issue 2. The big hot issue that got all kinds of press. Drops to 5,000. Almost 6. So that's pretty much the big surprises. We see a lot of issues tanking. Marvel just doing its same old predatory practices with its number 1 relaunches and stuff like that. We got Avengers at 58,000. I expect those to keep dipping down, and they will just relaunch. That's all they're ever going to do, and they're just going to, every time they relaunch, a comic store dies. It's kind of like, you know, that old thing, every time you hear something, an angel gets its wings. Every time Marvel relaunches into a number one, a comic store closes its doors. Anyway, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Were there any shockers, any surprises? Also, check me out over on Stream Me. There's a link in the description. Check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description. Follow, sub, throw a like up, share the video, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys real soon. We got new comics coming out tomorrow. Should be a good time. Peace.